welcome to Martin the Aviator. I am Daniel and I'm one of the guys in the team behind the channel Martin the Aviator. I'm sure you all wonder who is Martin, and that's what we're going to find out now. So, let's get straight to the point.
Yeah, let's do that. My name is Martin. I'm 50 years old, in middle of life, living in Stockholm archipelago together with my lovely wife and my 2 children. I'm a third generation pilot. My grandfather was an army pilot. He was flying small airplanes and very, very low over the treetops and looking out to see where the enemies were. And then he flew back and he told our own forces, that's the enemy over there, let's go that way. That was his job. And this was in the middle of the Second World War, and unfortunately he went down in a plane crash in 1945. He was flying a small aircraft from the southern part of Sweden up to the middle part, and he went straight into icing conditions. And icing conditions is not good for these small aircraft. Ice on the wings, ice on the propeller made the airplane go down.
What a tragedy.
It was a big tragedy, especially for my father, because he was born in May in 45 and my grandfather died in March. Oh. So he has a couple of months before, so he never got to meet his own father.
Okay.
So my father got adopted, and when he was 16 and he found out that he was adopted and his real father was a military pilot, he really wanted to continue that journey. So when he was 18, he got into the Air Force. He did basic training, and after that he was stationed in Skavsta, it's called. It's Nyköping, it's 100 kilometers south of Stockholm. Back then it was a military airport, only military activity, big fence around, and all the military personnel, pilots and their family, lived on the Air Force base. Mm-hmm. So that was where I was born, on the Air Force base, running around there the first 7 years of my life, breathing jet fuel and listening to these very great airplanes taking off and getting back home.
Yeah.
When I was about seven, my father ended his career in the military and started his civilian career. He was for a regional airliner in Sweden called Linjeflyg, and after that he went to the big international airliner called SAS here in Sweden. So he had a great civil and military background in aviation.
Does he still fly?
No, he's now 78, so he doesn't fly anymore, but he does simulator flights in his absolutely most precious airplane, and that is Draken. He was flying Stakeout. The Draken had 3 different, it says, attack, and he had spaning, I don't know what you call that in English, and he was flying the spaning part of it. So he when he was sitting and flying, went over to Russia. This was in the middle of the Cold War, right? Mm-hmm. He was 21 years old, flying over the Baltic Sea into Russian territory. And the only thing happened when he pushed the button was he was taking pictures. So he flew over Murmansk and all these strange places, taking pictures of everything. Okay. And then they started their MiGs, and he had to fly away from them because he couldn't shoot them down, right? So he had to fly away from them and go back home and show the pictures again, like his own father did, right? Yeah. Show the pictures. That's what happens over there. This is their military base. This is what they have, what kind of equipment they have. And that was his job.
Okay. Third generation pilot. Yeah. That's quite unique, at least in Sweden, or...
It's very unique when you consider third generation as a commercial pilot. There are a couple, there's 1 or 2 of the generations was private pilots, flying for private only. But 3 generation that had as a prime income, it's not so many, no.
Okay. But I imagine your grandfather was a pilot and your father was a pilot. The pressure for you to become a pilot must be quite big.
I think when I was born, he was hoping that.
Yeah.
But then he found out how I was, and he didn't believe that I could ever be a pilot. Uh-huh. a young guy running around, playing with everything, not really focused on school and stuff like that. I wanted to play with my cars and my bikes, and when I grew up, it was motorcycles and dirt bikes and
But a
then
lot
it
of
was cars
engines.
and everything with that had an engine. and of course, in the end, I always wanted to fly myself, and I always asked him. You know, I was very interested in that, but he always said, "No, that's not for you. It's not for you. It's not for you." And after a while, I said, "What do you mean it's not for me?" I don't think you can do it. You know, it takes a lot of effort, and it's not. You can't play around with airplanes. You know. And I thought, I know, I can be serious, right? And somehow, you should never give up on a dream.
No.
So that's when I said, well, of course I can do that. So it took a longer time for me to get started. I was started when I was 22.
Which year is this?
This has to be 92, 93,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. That's when I started my education. And I was done about 96.
Okay.
So it took about 3 years to do everything. Most of the problem wasn't to be able to fly and that stuff. The problem was that I didn't have any money, right? It costs a lot to get an education. I haven't regretted one day.
No, and what did your father say?
He didn't say so much in the beginning. He thought, let's see how you can do it. And actually, if you want to do this, I will help you.
Yeah.
But then you have to do it my way. So one of his military friends, who was also an instructor, very, very, hard guy. My father said, if you're going to do the training, you're going to do the training with him. And if he says you can do it, then you can do it.
Okay.
So I did that. And after, you fly 10 hours, you learn how to fly. And then the instructor goes out of the airplane, you have to start flying yourself. And then you have to learn what happens when something breaks down.
Yeah.
So the first 10 hours you learn how to fly, the other 40 hours you learn how to deal with stuff that goes wrong. And after about 50 hours you have your license. And after 50 hours I got my license, and my instructor said, yeah, I think you should continue this path to become a commercial pilot. So then I did. I worked a lot of everywhere to get money to do that. But actually I had one really good thing. That was my father owned an airplane. That airplane over there. Okay. So he became my instructor when it comes to the commercial and instrument part. We're flying around in the northern part of Europe. It's a lot of bad weather here. You have to be really good at flying in bad weather.
Yeah.
And after that, when that was completed, you learn how to fly with dual engines, another airplane. You learn how to fly with floats, on skis, when you land up in the northern part of Scandinavia, on the snow, learn how to do that. And then that was more or less my big advantage, that I can do different things with flying.
Yeah.
And that was also what made me get my first job as a pilot. The company that called Nordflyg, they had rented apartments for us pilots, since we were sleeping during the day and flying at night. We need to stay somewhere. And that I was actually in the same apartment that my mother and father rented when I was a kid.
No.
Yeah, so it was really strange. I stopped flying for the cargo airline and started flying for this taxi company full-time instead, and flying both all different planes they had. They had the Barons and seaplanes, different versions. They had old jets and everything. And we started flying this all over Europe mostly. On the same time, I always decided that if you're a pilot, you need to go to the doctor twice a year. And they can tell you that, oh, well, your heart bounces a little bit, or you get something in your eye when you're working in your garden, and then you will lose your medical certificate. That means you can't take care of your family anymore, right? You got no income. So you needed some kind of second income. So already in 2001, I bought my first real estate. At first, how hard can it be, right? You buy a house, you have tenants, you send 4 invoices a year. It should be really easy, right?
Yeah.
I found out it was quite a lot more work than that. But in 2009, my first child was born, It was our son Julius, and it was just too much to do everything. So I decided, okay, let's focus on family and the private things now, right? Take care of the real estate company and take care of the family. So I had to stop flying. So I did that, and the problem is that you have a brain, right? And you have a heart. And it doesn't always want the same thing. So my brain said, stay home with the family, take care of the properties, make that company grow. That's where the money is, that's what the security and safety is, right? That's the smart thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But my heart said something else. I really wanted to fly. I wanted to get back in the seat and fly again. So we had a possibility to buy an airplane called Cessna Citation CJ3. It was a small private jet. So we bought that, and we started flying customer with that. It grew and quite big.
Mm.
And we also got a lot of ambulance flights, and that was like the bread and butter of the company. And I sold that in 2017 because I wanted to try something new. I wanted to fly the big airlines. So I got the possibility to fly for LOT, the Polish national airliner.
Mm.
So I got hired there to fly the Dreamliner, the really nice Boeing 787 Dreamliner that takes 300 people from central part of Europe to LA.
Is it every pilot's dream?
It's a dream airplane.
Yeah,
I can't say it's every pilot's dream, but for me it was to try
okay.
that really big airline. But then COVID hit, and now I'm back to where I was in 2009. Just focusing on my family, focus on my real estate company.
Mm.
But you know, my heart is still ticking for something else, something new.
Yeah.
And what I've done now is I bought real estate that's quite far away from home, so I have to fly
Yeah, okay.
to get there. Is
Yeah.
one way.
Mm.
And another thing is what we're doing right here.
Yeah. But how did you
show-
get up with the idea of starting a channel? I mean, you have you're 50 years old.
Yeah, why should I be a YouTuber at 50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big question. Actually, I was up in the northern part of Sweden flying ski planes with my son. We had an adventure, you know, father and son week, flying ski planes around, and we had such a great time. Julie said, Dad, you have to show this to other people.
Mm-hmm.
This is so unique. And I said, yeah, how can you do that? Oh, you do a YouTube channel, right? Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, of course, yeah. And then I more or less forget about it.
Mm.
But last year I turned 50, and I wanted to have a big party to celebrate 50 years, right? So when you turn 50, you can have people from all chapters of your life coming together. But some of them only know me as, you know, how I was in school, because they're old school friends. Some knows me as the real estate guy. Some knows me as the flying guy. Some people knows me as we do karate in the family, so they know me as the martial art Martin. Some people knows me as the neighbor. Everyone knows different chapters of me, but no one knows the whole thing. So we were actually discussing, because Daniel helped me with this amazing party, but that turned out to an action movie that was about 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
That ended with me coming in with an entrance with a seaplane and landing. It was a great big thing, and it was so much fun. And after the dust had settled, after the party was over, I thought, it was so much fun. I don't want to stop now. I want to continue this journey. And then that old voice that Julie said, Dad, you have to show everyone this.
Yeah.
I thought, well, maybe I have something that is unique. Maybe I have something to show that other people want to see. You know, flying in Europe is not so common, especially when it comes to the general aviation part. And up here in the northern part of Europe, it's like Alaska. It's amazing. And to show that to everyone, that would be a really, really nice thing. So that's how the idea of this channel was grown.
Yeah. And what can we expect to see and experience on your channel?
There will be some learning, right? How airplane works, what kind of maintenance it needs, everything around that. We will fly all over Europe, low so you can see everything, below the clouds, test different aircrafts and helicopters. We will fly seaplanes in the most beautiful places. We'll fly ski planes up in the northern part of Sweden and land on top of different mountain lakes. It will be an amazing adventure and showing how great flying in Europe really is. But most of all, I will show my passion.
Yeah.
Passion of flying.
Passion is everything.
It is actually, right?
An ordinary day in Martin the Aviator's life. What are you going to do today?
Well, since I said I have a real estate company, and I try to have that far, the real estate far away from home, so I have to fly there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing today. So now I have to go and fly down to, it's called Norrköping. It's about 200 kilometers south from where we are now. I have a meeting there. I'm trying to buy new properties, and I'm going to look at one over there now.
Okay.
I've done some exercise in the gym because you have to stay fit to be able to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And now we're having this nice talk, and after that I'm going there. So that's a normal day.
And how do the customers react when you come flying like Indiana Jones on your plane?
Well, most of the people actually like it.
Yeah.
It's a really nice thing. When you want to buy something, you should come with your airplane.
Yeah.
But if you want to, if you have a factory and you shouldn't lay all the people off, then you take a bicycle there, right?
Yeah, okay.
But right now I haven't done that part yet. I'm always trying to, buy new stuff, find new possibilities to grow, and that was what we're doing. So right now everyone is really happy, and they remember me. So if there are 3 or 4 people who want to buy the real estate, the guy who came with the airplane, they remember me. So hopefully it helps a bit.
Okay, and now we're up and running with the channel.
Yeah, it's so nice. We've been working for this for, 6 months, talking about it, planning it, but now we actually have launched it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so nice. So please, everyone, if you like it, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Do some comments as well if there's something special you want to see. I'll do absolutely my best to provide that for you. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon.